So this, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Girls on the Move podcast. If you're listening like audio only, we're here with Taylor today. I almost
Hi.
said cat.
I am not cat, but I
No,
love
she's
cat.
but this is Taylor. So we are gonna be talking about today's topic will be like gym anxiety and what is nicknamed gymtimidation. And we'll be kind of going over that, the causes of it, what can help like minimize some of the overstimulating parts of it, and what you should probably do if you need to take a step further in figuring out what works best for you.
And you have
Um,
the best people for that here because me and Kay are just a bunch of balls of anxiety in human form.
that is quite accurate. Um, and it's funny because neither of us really go to a gym right now. But we
We
both
did.
have a lot of gym experience with public gyms, so we can talk on this. Um, but I think we'll start with our segments first. Which one? Let's do, you want to do hi?
Sure.
All right, you can go. Do you have
Uh,
it?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So, whoa. The other times that I've been on here, I've talked about the workout program that I've been following, which is Sydney Cummings. She's great. If you need a program, go do her programs. They're on YouTube. I absolutely love it. But I just finished my fifth program of hers on Saturday. And like it's 5 workouts a week. They're anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes every day. But the thing about it is 30 to 50 minutes doesn't sound super long, but with her workouts, it's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, or like a
High
minute
intensity.
straight of like AMRAP.
Yeah,
So like what I would get done in the gym over like a 2 hour time period, she has packed into 30 to 45 minutes. So it's great. But yeah, so I finished my fifth program of hers and I'm just like pretty proud of myself for that because they're hard. They're hard workouts.
yeah. Kudos to you, honestly, because I don't think I would survive those workouts at all.
They're
Um,
a thing, but it's good.
yeah. Jesus Christ. I could not. Um, my high of the week, I have a few.
Okay.
Is that cheating?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So this morning I went, so if you listen to previous episodes, three of my family members are running a marathon coming in I know literally coming in October. Um So they're going to be running a marathon. So sometimes when they do a little bit of a longer run, my sister will bring her bike and I can bike with them and kind of carry water bottles and like their gummies and stuff. I've only done it twice, so it's not like a super common thing, but it is fun to do.
Only done it
Um,
twice.
Literally. But I did one this morning and to them it was only 9 miles. But that's just astronomical to think about running that. Um, but that was fun. And then my soon-to-be brother-in-law is gonna let me borrow some of his anatomy and physiology textbooks. So I'm gonna be kind of self-educating myself a little bit in that, and I'm really excited for that. And I know I have Sid and Thaler to fall back on with questions, because reading comprehension does not come easily for me. But I'll be just doing lots of notes and stuff. But yeah, those are my two highs of the week. I'm just really excited because I've been wanting to like kind of like further educate myself. I feel like when you stop learning, you stop, you know, having things to give.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to like kind of continue to educate myself in the fitness realm. I think that there's so much to learn. Like
Mhm.
like you can't know it all. There's so much to know, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Um, but yeah, do you have a low of the week?
Yeah, I have pink eye.
That sucks.
Which is why I'm wearing my glasses right now, and I never wear my glasses. So it's been
Yeah.
rough. I had to do a lift today in my glasses, and it was one of the hardest things that I've ever done because I couldn't see for about 50% of the lift.
Yeah, because the humidity just
Yep.
fogs it up. Oh
It
my
was a
gosh.
thing. It's fine. I finished the lift though, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, and like I told you, Kate, it's like allergic pink eye. So it's like from an allergy. And I don't know what the allergy was. And it says like one of the ways to get it to go away is to remove yourself from the allergy. Well, I can't do that if I don't know what it was.
Do you, do you get seasonal allergies?
So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It
Okay.
depends on the year. Um, but so when we went up to our cabin to on our little vacation like 2 weeks ago, my
Yeah.
allergy got really bad there. And like I had to wear my glasses probably 50% of the time. Um, and like I had to take allergy medicine every single day. And since then it just hasn't really gotten better, which is weird
Hmm.
for me because normally like it just kind of goes away after like I'm out of the environment.
Hmm.
So yeah, don't know what's going on, but it's fine.
Sucks. That sounds real.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Um, Milo was honestly my lift today
Ah,
because I biked 10 miles and then I did a leg day and I don't know why I lined it up that way. It just happened that way and it my legs were just fatigued
yeah,
to start.
I would understand why.
So yeah, so it just like was not it wasn't a great lift.
I'm sorry. That's not fun.
No, that's okay. But if that's my low of the week, that means I had a pretty good week,
Yeah,
right?
that was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You got a food of the week?
Yeah, the food that I just ate. Um, so I'm sorry, I'm looking at watch bands right now. Okay, I'll stop.
You're fine. You're fine.
Um, my dad made pork tenderloin today on his smoker grill, as usual. But it was like stuffed pork tenderloin. So he like cuts it in half and then he puts like cream cheese and pesto and spinach and peppers and onions in it and like all inside it and then he wraps the outside with bacon that he smokes.
That sounds amazing.
It was so good. And it's honestly like yeah, the cream cheese and the bacon aren't really like great for you, but they're not the worst things ever, especially if like you're not eating the entire thing. Um, but there's a ton of protein in it because of
Yeah.
like the pork tenderloin, and it was just like really good. And it's one of my favorite meals that he makes. So, yeah, but then also I have a dessert. It's my Ninja Creamy Oreo or not Oreo, Chips Ahoy protein ice cream that I keep making, and it's like my favorite thing ever. And my Ninja Creamy was probably the best investment that I've ever made because I love ice cream, but I don't eat it ever because like there's a lot of calories and it's not great for you.
Yeah.
Like not that calories are bad, but like ice
Yeah.
cream is the thing that I want to put into my body like after I lift or after I like go
Yeah.
do something like some type of movement.
Right.
But all it is or what I put in it is almond milk, a scoop of my Ghost Chips Ahoy
My
powder.
favorite one.
Yes.
I love that.
Like a little thing of like vanilla, like imitation vanilla flavoring, like just a little splash of it,
Yeah.
honey, and some salt.
Oh,
And
dang.
that's literally all it is. And it takes literally just like a Chips Ahoy cookie, and it's so good.
Oh my gosh. I might have to swing over to my mom's with my protein powder. Hey, mom,
And
I'm
it's
here to make
only
ice
like
cream.
it's like 200 calories for like the whole thing. And it's like a thick like thing. It's like that big and it's completely
Yeah.
full. And it's only like 200 calories and it has like 30 grams protein in it.
Jesus Christ.
and it's ice cream.
My niece went over to my mom's because I have been eating like dairy-free ice cream. Like I have like a little one of those Ben and Jerry's small containers. I'll have like a third every third night. Cause dude, a sweet treat
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what you need a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a good substitute with that could be very necessary because I'm getting quite addicted to this stupid ice cream.
But like
Um,
Clean Simple Eats, so the protein powder that I send all the time on the lifting group chat that I'm like
yeah,
obsessed with, they
yeah.
just became like the official protein powder of Ninja Creamy. So I'm really excited about it. And I just
Nice.
ordered, they had a sale, which like they never have sales. So it's like this Labor Day sale. They have maybe three a year. Um, and I got brownie and more strawberry cheesecake protein powder.
Mm,
But then they have a pumpkin pie one, but it's sold out right now. But when it comes back into stock, I'm buying that.
I'm not a huge pumpkin person.
That's okay, I am.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, Clean Simple Eats, if you want protein powder that doesn't taste like protein powder, it's great. It's kind of pricey, but if you're gonna spend $40 on cheap stuff, like anyways, you should just spend a little bit more and get the stuff that actually tastes good. That's just
Yeah,
my opinion on it.
that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah. Okay, what's your food of
Um, I also have two. So my first one is my dad.
Dads are
He
great.
Dads are great. He smoked. I think he smoked or grilled. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But he made ribs today, and I haven't had ribs in so long. I forgot how much I love them.
Mhm.
And he also did like chicken thighs. He made a freaking feast. I'm not even kidding. So I had a chicken thigh and then like three ribs, and it was so good. It's such high protein. We love. Um, and then I was just scrolling on Facebook the other day, and apparently this is trending. I've never even heard of it, honestly, but cucumber salads. Um, so I made one that I just copied the recipe off of Facebook, but I kind of just did my own ingredients, like own amounts, you know? And so so it's cucumber, deli ham, deli turkey, which I know is processed and it's not great, but you know what? It's kind of the easiest
Yeah.
source of meat to put in that to slice it up and stuff. Who cares? And then light mayo and Greek yogurt, which those ones really threw me when I like was going through the ingredients list. Ink is at the door,
Ah.
and those ones really threw me. And I did put in too much, so it's like kind of too much of a kind of slimy and not enough just like of solid.
Hmm.
So next time I make it, I'm gonna like definitely lessen the yogurt and mayo. And I think I'm actually gonna take out the mayo. I'm not a huge mayo person, but I wanted
Okay.
to follow the recipe because I was like, oh, maybe the Greek yogurt and everything else will mask the taste of the mayo, but you can still kind of taste it. I'm not a huge mayo fan. Um, but it was really good and it's like 30 grams of protein a serving. I'm like, holy shit.
So, funny story.
So yeah, go ahead.
After you put that on your Insta, and then I
Yeah.
texted you and said, "Hey Kay, how much of every ingredient did you use?" You're like, "I just eyeballed it." I did the same thing and eyeballed it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, but I also like mayo.
Okay.
I would take mayo over like Miracle Whip or like any kind of other like thing
That's
that you
fair.
put on a sandwich any day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was really good. But then I
Okay.
kind of ate that as my dinner.
Me too.
So
Me
it
too.
was, we went and got subs from Subway, and like the sub that I get I really really like. Like it's my favorite one. But
Yeah.
I ate the cucumber salad thing before that and I was like, okay, like this will be kind of like a pre-Subway
Yeah.
snack. No, it ended up being my dinner. I think I ate like half my sub and put the rest away.
Dude, it was surprisingly self-filling. But I mean, if it's 30 grams of protein, protein is
Yeah.
going to fill you up so much faster. They say eat your protein
Yeah.
first for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so full afterwards.
Yep.
And I had Alex try too, and he was like, this isn't something I would crave per se, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And I was really really hesitant to try it because it does sound so strange. Like it sounds like just so bizarre. And it kind of is, but I thought it was so good though. I was like, oh, this is actually like really good.
Mhm.
And I like being able to kind of delegate like how much I put in. I like to control the recipe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially with something like that, like a salad type thing. It's so much easier to do that. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Um, was that all? That was all of them, right? No, lift.
Lift.
Lift of the week.
Well, it wasn't my lift today. Because that one sucked.
Me too. Me too.
What lifts did I even do this week? Oh. Oh, it wasn't my Pilates lift either.
You don't say.
Yeah, you got a nice little text message about that. Uh,
I thought it was so funny because she she snaps in like the girls lifting group snap thing, and she's like Pilates check, like done whatever, and then it's like super cute picture selfie whatever. Then she texts me and Sydney, I fucking hate Pilates. It's like mood.
so
There's
bad.
the Taylor we know and love.
And I was like, why am I doing this? Why is this part of the program? But I mean, it's so good to like add it into your week because
Mhm.
like it works a lot of muscles that like I don't generally work like with regular like strength training. But it's just like this sucks. Like I'm
Yeah.
sitting there and like I'm on like my side in a side plank and my foot's like in the air like trying to like go different
And the foot
directions.
on the ground is slowly slipping further
Uh-huh.
and further away until you're
I'm
just laying down.
like I can't do a side plank the way it is. Like my shoulder's gone. So
True.
I'm like sitting there and
True.
I'm like, well, I'm just not gonna have any muscles left in my body.
Well,
Like,
I you're like, how do y'all balance? Like
mhm.
aside from like I use my other arm to
Oh, me
balance.
too.
Like how do you guys do this? Pilates
Like I'm sitting
princesses,
there, I
you are
have my
stars.
like yeah, elbow and forearm on the ground, and then my other arm is like hooked like next to me so that I don't fall over. I'm like, how can you do this with like you're making a star in the air and all of your limbs are like not underneath you? Like I don't get it.
Simply shaking.
But yeah, so that wasn't my lift of the week.
Fair enough.
I honestly think that it was probably my cardio and abs one, which
Really?
will not hear from me ever. I'm
Yeah.
not a cardio human.
I'm
Not a vibe.
with you. I'm with you on that.
But because it was like the last cardio day of the program, so she was like trying to make it like fun. Um,
Hmm.
so it was just like a lot of like it was a low impact one, so it wasn't really like a ton of jumping or anything, but like my heart rate got up there, like it felt good, and then like the ab stuff that she incorporates, it makes you feel strong. Like
Yeah.
I could do 100 sit-ups, and by the time I was done with it, I wouldn't feel strong. I would just be like, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah.
But like the different ways that she incorporates abs and the ways that she has you use your or move your body and use dumbbells, like it just when you're done with it, you're like, damn, like I did that. I feel very, very
Yeah.
strong. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just a good like cardio and ab day, but you'll probably never hear me say that again.
Yeah.
So remember
Sometimes
this
you just
day.
need, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need those ego boost empowering
Mhm.
lifts where you're
Yeah.
like, we're going into it, you're like, I'm not sure I can do this. And then you're like, holy shit,
Hmm.
I'm invincible. I can
Which
do
is like,
anything.
yeah, I am like feeling that a lot like right now with her lifts because like I've been doing her program since probably February. Like that's when I
Yeah.
stopped like going into the gym consistently and I kind of like wanted to build kind of like my own gym.
Yeah.
So that's when I started her programs and like at the beginning of her programs, there's probably 50% of every lift that I had to modify, like, and was not able to do it fully and had to do very light weights with it. And I'm getting to the point now where like she'll like be like, okay, we're doing this. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, that sucks. I hate it. But there's very few things that I have to modify now. So like
You're like, I
I'm just
hate it, but I can do it.
yes. And like even like Courtney, my sister, she was like, you've made so much progress in like since you started this. And I'm like, yeah. And because like we would do like weighted sit-ups where like the weight was like on your chest and you were like holding
Yeah.
it. Like and I could do 8 pounders. Like
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I like could consistently get up with 8 pounds. And I'm up to like 25s now. And I'm like, dang. Like
God damn, girl.
no.
I only do tens with them because I'm like, yeah,
But yeah,
I
so
choose life.
yeah, sometimes I don't. It's fine though.
But you can. But you
Hmm.
can, and that's what we're getting at. Um, okay, my lift of the week. So it wasn't this week because I recorded an episode. I recorded the one with my family early. So my lift of the week was after that one, but
Ooh,
it was last week.
that's okay.
I did the episode before, and I did do segments last week, but I just want to drop it on the pod. Y'all, I hit my summer PR, my summer PR. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, that's enough of the song. But thank you for vibing with me. Um, I bench pressed 135.
Yes, we love that for you.
Dude, yeah, it was the same like I just didn't think I had it in me, and then afterwards I was like, holy shit, I just did that.
We all
And
knew that you could do it.
I set myself up better this time. It was a lot of trial and error to like figure out what I need to do in the like minutes before to prep sort of thing, like what weight and reps I should be doing to work up to the 135 and without like fatiguing myself. So that I think that was the biggest thing. It was just like so much trial and error to like
Mhm.
figure out how to get myself set up for it.
For
Um,
sure.
and it was a struggle. All right. I'm not saying it was easy. And I had to change my stance a little bit too. Like, um, my footing, my legs are really short. Except for, okay, they're average. I would say they're average size. The rest of me is really short.
I'm not
Um,
short in leg size whatsoever.
yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
well, you're like 5'8",
I'm
aren't
not.
you?
I'm 5'5".
What?
Yeah, I'm only like an inch taller than you and Sid.
Oh, for some reason you seem so much taller than us.
I have really, really long so.
I have really long legs and a really
You
short
died.
torso.
Stop talking. Now
Oh,
start talking again.
okay. Can you hear me?
Now, yeah.
Okay. I have really long legs and a short torso, but my brother, who was on last week's podcast, go listen, it was really fun. Anyways, I burped. He I sent him a video of my form because I was like, oh, is there anything I can improve to kind of help me like hit this goal that I'm trying to do and stuff? And he's like, yeah, widen your grip for sure. Because I was like kind of like
Hmm.
here, right? He's like, go out. Like he's like, widen your grip. And I'm like, that feels so weird. I can pump out a lot more with that. It does like lower your range of motion, which is why I can't.
Yeah.
But the different grips work different little muscles, and if you're trying to PR, a wider grip is gonna kind of set you up better for that. Um, but I didn't know that, so now I do, and that helped too. Um, but yeah, that was nice. That was real nice. That
Real nice.
was my list of the week
I love that
last
for you.
week. Short story long. Um, Anyways,
Be
shall
hard.
we? Yeah, that's how we do things here.
Hard.
Um,
Yeah.
that's why we have a podcast. This is quite literally why we have a podcast. Should we get into the topic?
Shire.
Shire. Okay. So I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, which was like 7 hours ago, um, that we are going to be talking about gym anxiety or gym intimidation to make it cutesy, you know. Um,
Easy.
um, but kind of like talking about it and like how it is a real thing. Like this is not just in your head, you know, like these are very real feelings and need to be validated. And kind of like how we have personally helped ourselves and learned to help ourselves kind of minimize it a little bit and stuff. But yeah, so I know Taylor, you wanted to kind of talk about like what it is and kind of go into that. So if you
Yeah.
want to, floor is yours.
Cool, cool. So everybody's gonna obviously have like a different experience of what
Mhm.
happens to them if they do have gym anxiety. Like anxiety is not a one size fits all thing in any
Okay.
way, shape, or form. But your like general like gym anxiety is just gonna like kind of make you feel kind of fearful, self-conscious, intimidated of like being at the gym, going to the gym, being around other people. Like it's kind of those feelings of being in that space um and then not feeling great about it, honestly.
Right.
um and some of the things that can trigger that are like feeling like you're going to be judged by others, which I know is a big one, especially for females.
Mhm.
If you're not really familiar with the gym equipment and how to use it there, I know that can be a big trigger for some people.
Mhm.
Comparing yourself, if you are kind of scared of doing exercises incorrectly and either
Yeah.
hurt yourself or like feeling like you're gonna look dumb doing them,
Mhm.
or like just images about your body, not images, concerns about your body image.
Yep. I got you. Um,
Um, yeah.
I think another thing too is could be from like past experiences
Yeah, for
too.
sure.
Um, whether that be like an embarrassing gym moment or like a scary gym moment with
Mhm.
like with equipment, with people, stuff like that. I think a lot of it can stem from past experiences, but a lot of what Taylor said is the most common, I would say. But yeah, I know. I think I have all those, like exactly what you just read off. I said, yeah, the fear of like people watching you and judging you. A new place, new machines, even if you're switching gyms, new faces,
Mhm.
a new layout, like you have to refamiliarize yourself with everything. Yeah, there's so much that can play into it and so much that a lot of people might not struggle with and might not understand why it is so scary and kind of like debilitating in a way. Um, but yeah.
I mean, I've definitely like I am a very anxious person. Like I
Mhm.
my anxiety level probably sits around a 6 out of 10 at all points in time. And
Mhm.
going to the gym, being around people who a lot of the time are lifting more than I am, who like especially when it's like the male versus female aspect, a lot of the males at the gym that I go to kind of walk around acting like they know more than the
Mhm.
females there, and that's been a hard thing to deal with. And just like, yeah, the idea of, oh, everybody's gonna watch me when I do this. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like not doing it right, or just
Yeah.
kind of like self-talk and that negativity that keeps on like spiraling in your head. So like a lot of like the symptoms that I get from
Yeah.
it, like My heart rate gets like a lot higher than it should while I'm lifting. I sweat a lot easier, and I already sweat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. So that doesn't really help. And then kind of like emotionally, I'm almost like embarrassed, or it's kind of like an overwhelming feeling of self-consciousness of like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like everybody's staring at me. Like I have to go hide in a corner and
Yeah.
do the exercise, which
Yeah.
that was a lot. Like that happened a lot more to me when I was just beginning to like be at the gym consistently. So I don't really feel it now. Like I've worked through a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it, but it like can really be debilitating sometimes. Where like if you
Oh,
like are sitting there and you're like so overwhelmed by all of these feelings, and then
mhm.
you start getting the physical symptoms and you're kind of like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, that can be
Yeah.
a really negative experience for people and kind of make them not want to go to the gym.
Yeah. It can definitely deter and like um kind of end somebody's
Yeah.
fitness journey there. I know for me it was like a lot of what Taylor said already. Mm, I was so worried about my body image and what people how I like looked. So I would just hide in super duper baggy clothes. I still do that a lot of the time. And it's not so much body image concerns now. It's just what's comfortable to me, honestly. But well, it's both. But yeah, this is not to say I have the confidence of, a Sid. But
Sitting like
yes, Sid has some awesome confidence that she should share um to the both of us. Um, but yeah, so for me it was like there would be I think when I first started going to the gym a few times by myself, I would go in, be so intimidated just getting in there. And I would literally go right back out to my car and drive home, and then I would just beat myself up. Like, okay, you're such a pussy. Like, why didn't you do that? And then it would cause more anxiety about not going to the gym. It's just a cycle. And I already struggle heavily with social anxiety and just anxiety. So the social anxiety aspect of it really made it really hard too because I do think like, oh, what if I do something silly or I'm doing something wrong? All these people are here to judge me, blah 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 blah. If they're there, like, okay, everyone's there for themselves, hopefully, and if they're truly there to judge people, they need to work on themselves and they're not worth worrying about. Um, but you don't know that, you don't see that at the time, or like think that at the time. And still, like, I've been at a home gym for like a year now. And if I went back to a public gym, I would probably shit my pants the first few times. Like, that would be so scary. It takes
Yeah.
so long to get used to it. So long.
Yep. And I mean,
But,
like, obviously, we both have found like ways to get through it. Like, you
mhm,
worked out at like a public gym for like a while. I've done it pretty much my whole life up until this last 6-ish months. Um,
mhm,
and like it is something that you can get through, but at the time it seems kind of paralyzing. And
exactly.
one of the biggest things that we like wanted to tell people is that it's valid. It's not
Yeah.
something that like isn't there and it's just in your head. It's very, very valid, and it's like something that yeah, you're gonna have to work through, but you're not alone in it. Because if you
Mhm,
go to a gym, probably a good chunk of the people there are feeling the same exact way as you are,
mhm.
and they're trying to work through it too. And
Yeah.
that's something that like I had to really like understand and like focus on and be like, okay, a lot of these people here like are feeling what I'm feeling. And like it's not going to help anybody if I'm focusing on other anybody else other than myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, like, your confidence over time is naturally just going to grow as you get more comfortable in that setting. But it does take time and It does. Sometimes it takes seeing, like you gotta find your groove. You gotta find your time that you go.
Mhm.
For me, when I would go out of my normal schedule or routine, even if I was like 2 years into going, I would get such bad gym anxiety because I'm like, is it going to be super busy? Like, I know what to expect when I would go at the time I would always go. I knew exactly what to expect. I could like tell you who would be there. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but then when you're switching up your routine, you're going in the morning or right after work as opposed to the evening, it was for me, it's gonna be very it's going to be very anxiety inducing again because it's the same but it's completely different,
Yep.
so there's just so much that plays into it. And I don't know, I think that it isn't really discussed a ton, so I thought it'd be fun to go over. And I thought I had done an episode on this before, and I looked through all my past episodes and I hadn't, like, but I could have swore I talked about this.
You could have talked about it as like a little blurb or
Like a
something.
snippet, not really
Mhm.
a whole like
Yeah.
dedicated episode to
Mhm.
it. But yeah, yeah. So here we are. Here we are. You wanted to kind of also talk about if you think that maybe your anxiety isn't just
Mhm.
in the gym.
Yeah. So obviously I have a like background in mental health, like going to be a counselor. Like
Mhm.
just a lot of what I think about when we talk about like the different topics on here is how is your mental health being affected? What are things that we can do to make this a positive experience both physically and mentally? And one of just the things when it comes to anxiety is it could be more than just gym anxiety.
Yeah.
So like with me, that's definitely what it was. Like had anxiety in every aspect of my life, but it was just exacerbated when I went to the gym.
Hmm.
And this is not me telling you that if you have gym anxiety that you have serious problems or anything, okay?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
if it is at the point where like you consider it severe anxiety and like it's debilitating to you, consider going and seeing your doctor and talking to them about it. Consider
Hmm.
going to a therapist and seeing if there are things that you can do to help work through those feelings of anxiety. It's
Hmm.
not a shameful thing to work on yourself mentally at the same time as you're working on yourself physically.
Yeah.
And especially with like a lot of the issues that females go through with body image, body dysmorphia, like that kind of stuff, you're probably going to have some emotional struggles and mental struggles within that journey. And it's not a bad idea to have somebody who is a professional there to help you walk along in that. So maybe that means you go see a therapist every so often. Maybe that means
Hmm.
you talk to your doctor and you are on a medication that helps to lower some of that anxiety for you. But there's a whole bunch of different routes that you can
Yeah.
take to help lower anxiety if it's something that you consistently deal with and it's not just when you go to a gym. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that they're probably functioning at a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 level every single day, but then when they go into a space like a gym, it jumps up to a 9 out of 10. So if we
Yeah.
think of it, if we can lower that constant 6 down to a 3 or a 2, then that means the anxiety that you feel when you go to a gym drops down to a 5. And that makes a
Yeah.
lot of difference.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's just a little blurb of it's okay to
To
ask
seek
for help. Yeah.
other help, yes.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people find are like more into holistic um melody.
What? Medicine? Was that what you were trying to say?
No, I don't know. There's a word, med
Remedies?
remedy,
Oh, goodness gracious.
holistic remedies.
Okay.
If you find something that does work for you, um, that you can adjust in your life, that stays consistent with you and works with you
Hmm.
without like having to take a medicine or whatever, awesome. Great for you. That's awesome. If you need that extra help to balance some of the chemicals in your brain, awesome.
Hmm.
Glad you found that is what you needed. Because I don't know. I mean, that's the route I took because I was never able to like kind of like bring myself down from it. Um, I needed just a little bit of
Yep.
chemical balance. And that's what I was missing, and it does help a lot. And I have a what I use I'm supposed to use daily, but I do as needed, and that has been working great for me. So
Yeah. And like, obviously, we're not doctors. Neither
no,
one of us have a medical degree, or I don't have a therapist license yet.
yeah.
But it's, um,
Talk to your doctor,
yes.
not us.
But it's just, it's not something, I know there's been in the past a big stigma about getting help with mental health issues.
Hmm.
And like, I know it sounds so cliche, but your mental health is just as important as anything that you would do for your physical health. So if you treat a broken bone through like medicine, you can also treat a chemical imbalance in your brain through medicine or through therapy. It's not something that has to be stigmatized. And one of the reasons why I'm like really like on this right now is because it is suicide prevention month and or suicide awareness month in
Yeah.
September. And it's just like suicide is something that like has like affected me as a person.
Mhm.
Like it is I people like work through, and
Mhm.
it's been a difficult thing.
Yeah.
And who knows if the people would have went and not felt shameful about going to therapy, would have went and asked their doctor for help, would have went and found a different means to help their mental health, maybe some of the stuff that happened wouldn't have had to happen.
Yeah. Could things have ended differently, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, take care of your mental health. It's honestly, I'd argue it's more important than, if you're not in a good mental state, how are you supposed to take care of your body physically? You're not going to be able to do that and prevent burnout at the same time. So make sure you're good up
Mhm.
there, you know?
And it's okay
Um,
if you're not.
yeah, no, but if you're not, figure out what is
Yep.
what is the cause of the knot and
Hmm.
try to work through some solutions. It's
Yep.
gonna be trial and error for sure. Trial and
Uh-huh.
error as hell. But yeah. Um, so then I think, do you want to go into like kind of like small little remedies that we have
Yep.
helped ourselves with? And this is just what's worked for us
Mhm.
personally and what might work for some of you guys, but we want to share them just in case it does work for someone. Um, but yeah, I made
Okay.
a little list.
You can go first.
Okay. Um, One thing that helped me, especially with going to a new gym, because I think a year-ish into my one membership, I switched to a new gym.
Hmm.
Um, and that was really scary. Just a new place, new faces, everything. But one thing that I did, and I actually like listened to, I think it was a podcast, honestly, of someone who was like, here's how to like figure out a new gym or whatever, something like that. Um, I just walked or used the stair machine or something like that because usually the cardio section kind of overlooks
Yeah.
the weight section in a lot of gym layouts, right? So I would just walk on the treadmill for like 20-ish minutes, and just scout out everything, see kind of like get a lay of the land, figure out where everything was, where everything what machines were being used more heavily, and what were not as used, and kind of try to base my workout around that. That helped me for sure starting at a new gym.
Yeah.
And I think just when you're kind of overstimulated and you have a plan for what you want to do when you get there, but you get there and it's really packed, or like you're just not as comfortable as you thought you were walking in. I think that can be a good tool to use in that setting or
Hmm.
situation as well.
Hmm. For sure.
Yeah,
Um, Going off of that, one of mine is to like plan your workout ahead of time. Like,
that too.
like yes, if you go there, somebody's using the machine that you're using or the rack that you need to use. Like, obviously, that's going to change a little bit, but if you know what lifts you want to get done, if
Mhm.
you know like how long you want to be on the treadmill or how many sets you want to do of everything and have it written out for you, it's a lot easier for you to go in there, find something that's on your list, and do it
Yeah.
instead of go in there, walk in, see everybody who's there already, be overwhelmed because you have no idea what you want to do, and then try to plan a lift in your head. That was one of the hardest things when I wasn't planning my lifts ahead of time. And I would just walk in and maybe I would know that I wanted to do arms, but I had no idea if I wanted it to be push or pull, like if I wanted to do any cardio during the day. And then all of a sudden I would just be sitting there contemplating all of my life choices that I've ever made
Yeah.
because I didn't plan my lift ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I have that one down too. I think it's so important to know what, especially if you're already nervous and stuff. Um, Plan it, yeah, plan out your lift. Plan out exactly the lifts you want to do, in what order. And like Taylor said, that may change and stuff. Like, due to like availability of machines and stuff, or equipment. But yeah, definitely plan your lifts out ahead of time. Um, I use this one app, it's called Rep Count, and that you can like plan out a future lift and then just fill it in as you're doing it. Super helpful. Or I see people, like I saw a lot of people in the gym would have like notebooks or like plans like printed out and stuff. So if that's what works for you, do that, you know? Um, Another one that I had is mm, 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 wear sorry, I had to find it. Wear clothes that you are comfortable in. Don't worry about what's cute and what's trendy, because honestly, even the cute and trendy stuff now, I'm still not like comfortable in. I wouldn't wear to a public gym. Um, find find like clothes that you are comfortable in, like that don't what's it called? Like when okay, so like some like stitching and stuff like really itch me, and like it kind of like is a sensory thing. Like,
Yeah.
don't wear things that are gonna like make your sensories just like go crazy. Wear like if it's needed, looser clothes, baggy tee. If you do need like feel more comfortable in like more compression style, wear that. Like,
Mhm.
don't just wear what's cute and trendy because it's cute and trendy if you're gonna feel completely uncomfortable and out of place in it.
Yeah.
Make sure you're comfortable in what you're going in, and um how you feel in it.
Mhm. I mean, there's no point in going to a gym and wanting to lift and make progress when 75% of the time you're so worried about what you look like in the outfit
Mm-hmm.
that you chose to wear that you're not really doing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
make sure your clothes are functional, number one. Like,
Yes.
make
No
sure that,
front zippers.
yeah, make sure you can do the movements that you want to do in the clothing that you're wearing.
Clothes.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you're wearing a sports bra that is so tight that you can't move your
Breathe.
upper body on an upper body day, I would suggest not wearing that.
I would suggest also not wearing complicated clothing that
Mhm.
could cause wardrobe malfunctions. Because that would make me just, think about, oh my gosh, it's like say I'm wearing a sports bra with a front zipper. I had this happen in a basketball game, so I had a jersey over it, but the zipper broke and just like the bra just split open, and I'm like, oh my God, like so from my experience, do not wear a front zipper bra unless you have a shirt over. Even so, you're gonna have a real uncomfortable rest of your lift. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that. Um, yeah, wear functional clothing. Maybe if you're going for a run, don't wear one of those like one
Mhm.
strap sports bras because one of your girls are gonna say hi. Like that's just plan ahead in that sense as well.
The
That's
thing
gonna help you.
the thing about dressing for the gym is obviously you want to wear something that you're going to feel comfortable in, but you still have to be able to do the stuff that you went there to do.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I know. I try to like still like wear kind of like a somewhat cute, to
yeah.
me, cute outfit and stuff, but it's gonna vary so much with what
Mhm.
lift I have. Like if I have a leg day, it's going to be spandex. It is not going to be these mesh shorts that I wear on the daily. Because the chafing will be astronomical and I will want to honestly
Mhm.
pass away the next day. I I kid you not, I did it one time. Scabs.
Oh,
Taylor, I
buddy.
had like I bled. I bled.
Buddy.
I learned my lesson real quick on that one.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you guys to not make the same mistakes I did because you will be so uncomfortable for the next few days. Um, do you have another one?
Um, yeah. Um, One of the ones that are going to be a little controversial,
Ooh, we love it though.
that
Controversial?
I'm going to say is that if you are going to a public or commercial gym or even like a private gym,
Yeah.
there are personal trainers there at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
To pay a little bit for a session with them, but there is somebody there who will make a workout program for you.
Yeah.
Will make a program for you, will show you how to use the machines and how to do your lifts.
Mm-hmm.
If it is the thing that is holding you back is the fact that you don't know how to use the machines, you don't know how to make a program, you don't know what muscles to target. There are people there for you that will help you with that. That's why gyms
Absolutely.
exist. Like,
And yeah.
mhm,
Absolutely. And that's what they're paid to do. I mean,
mhm,
obviously, you're paying them to do that too. But even if you just want a personal trainer to get you started and let go of them once you feel you can
yeah,
take it the rest of the way on your own, once you get a good foundation, if that's what you need to do, absolutely do that. Like the best investment you're going to make is yourself
mhm,
in your health, in your like mental and physical health. That's the best investment you're gonna make. So do that.
yeah,
Make that investment. Kind of going off of that one, uh, in a sense, but is like if you don't know how to do a lot of lifts or you're not super comfortable with like all these like um lifts that target smaller muscle groups and stuff. Do the lifts you know how to do, and you're gonna learn as you go. Absolutely you will. Go in with knowing the lifts that you know and doing those. Make sure you're doing them right before expanding your roster of lifts per se. Do what you know how to do, because otherwise, if you're just starting in the gym and you're like, let's try all these new lifts that I'm learning on the spot, that's gonna make you a little bit more anxious as well. That's what it did for me, anyways.
Mhm.
Um, this is speaking from my experience. So definitely like, and if you do want to try something new, great, absolutely do it. If you feel the confidence to do it, absolutely do it. If you want to try something new, but you're a little anxious to do it, look it up and practice the motion and the movement at home before you add weight to it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, do what you know to start, um, and go, like kind of expand from there.
Like educate yourself. We
Yeah,
can we can say that with anything that we talk about on here is that educate yourself. Know and learn the things that are going to help you. Like learn how to use different gym equipment, whether that be by watching YouTube videos on it, going to your gym and asking somebody to show you, going to your gym with a friend and having them show you if they know how to do it. Like, educate yourself on different techniques, on your fitness goals. If you
hmm
say, I want to gain 20 pounds of muscle, you have to educate yourself and you have to know what it's going to take to gain 20 pounds of muscle.
yeah.
That goal isn't going to magically make it appear.
Right. You have to like, yeah, and that's so much of it. You have to literally like figure it out yourself a lot of the time, unless you do have the means to hire a personal trainer or like have friends who are in or have more knowledge in the fitness realm, and you can ask them because I mean I learned so much from you, Taylor. I learned so much from Sid. I learned so much from my brother. And I think there's just so much to be learned and so
Yeah.
much to be taught. But yeah, again, that was kind of going into another one that I had was um go with a friend or someone who knows kind of
Yes.
is more familiar in the setting and stuff, or not. If you just need another person that you know and that you are so comfortable with there, and they are also needing some that same level of support from you, go together. You're in the same boat. It's going to be a little bit more fun. You can goof off a little bit more and let loose a little bit more. I always feel a lot more comfortable when I'm with people I know, like, because I'm like, okay, they're going to judge me because, like, they're going to judge the way I act
Yeah.
because I'm gonna act a little goofier with them. But they're gonna be doing the same exact thing,
Mhm.
and it's a playful judge. It's not judging.
Mhm.
They don't judge my personality. We wouldn't be friends then. But like, we can make fun of each other and make fun out of it
Mhm.
and let loose a little bit more. And that's gonna,
Yeah.
when you're like, not as focused as what you're doing around you and who you're
Mhm.
and more focused on who you're with and like what you're actively like doing, you're not gonna notice all these other people and all these other machines and all this noise and stuff. Is I think it's gonna help if that's what you're looking for and you need.
And yeah, it doesn't mean that your friend has to be there with you the every single step of your lift and has to be right next to you. Like a
hmm
lot of the time, Sid would come with me when we were both going to the same gym, and she would go do what she was doing, like she would go run or whatever, and I would do what I was doing, but it just gave me a little bit of like comfort and helped me breathe a little bit that like if
hmm
something went wrong or if I just needed to take a break and needed somebody to talk to, Sid was
Yeah,
there. Like I could go and
yeah,
I could talk to her and I could be like, "Hey, I need help on this lift." Like,
yeah,
"Hey, I need a spotter. Can you help me?"
Yeah.
And just having somebody there that like I said, even if they're not next to you at all points in time during the entire hour and 30 minutes that you're there,
Yeah.
it's still support. It's still somebody to help ease that like tension that you have inside of you.
Mm. No, absolutely. And like when I would go, me and Alex would go together. Um, and we never worked out together, but it was like, oh, I know I have my person right over there. I can shoot him a text to be like, hey, can you come help me with this? Or just walk over, be like, hey, I need some help over here. Or if I would get overstimulated, I would just go stand there and just be like, okay, just recollect myself, and just be like, you know what? Look, he's doing this. All these people are doing their thing. I can get back to my thing, you
Yeah.
know? But it's so comforting having, and I guess with Sid, and if you guys don't know who we're talking about, she's been on the episode or on the podcast before, um, in a few episodes. But uh, and then Alex, like with those two people in particular, they're not very anxious people.
Yeah.
So to me, it's helpful because
Yep.
like they'll validate my anxiety and they'll validate my feelings and stuff, but at the same time, they're showing me that hey, I don't have to worry about some of the things that I
Yep.
am worrying about. Um, and it just does help. It brings like a calmer presence to me.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so find your calm. Find
And
your
you're calm.
I'm a calm person. There's one out there for everyone,
But
probably.
like going off of that specifically for girls,
Yeah.
you need an environment with like people who are consistently supportive of you and your goals.
Hmm.
Go search out a women only gym. Like go
Yeah.
search out group fitness classes where the
Hmm.
majority of the people there are women.
Yeah.
Like it is helpful to know that the people that are around you, like they do experience a lot of the same things that you do. That's not
Mhm.
saying that working out with guys is bad. Like,
Yeah.
not saying that guys shouldn't be at the gym because they intimidate us, which, like, it's not normally true. But for, like, new people to the gym or people like me and Kay who have a lot of anxiety, it's
Hmm.
really hard for us to be there and be on a squat rack next to two jacked guys who are squatting 3 times what we are.
Yeah.
Like it's just that constant comparison of, oh
Hmm.
my God, I'm not good enough. I can't
Hmm.
do this. I shouldn't be here. And if that's something
Hmm.
that's really going to be a barrier to you, go
Hmm.
find an environment where that's not going to be a barrier. Like
Absolutely.
Pilates classes, like I said, I absolutely hate Pilates, but
Yeah.
go to a Pilates class,
Yeah.
spin
Honestly.
classes. They have lifting like groups for women that you just
Or
have to take
even like
on. Hmm.
kickboxing, like
Yeah,
if you want to like kind of enhance your self-defense and stuff,
yeah.
boxing. And it's I
Hmm.
mean, I can't really afford to go to a kickboxing class every week, but I would love to if I could.
Like at the
Um,
gym that I go to, there's like the main gym part, which my
mhm.
gym is kind of more like a like rec center almost because there's like a
Okay.
pool and all the different stuff there. But
Yeah.
like there's the main gym part with like all of your exercise machines and stuff, and then there's another gym that's basically on the opposite side of the building that like there's more of like med balls and like ankle weights and
Mhm.
like it's kind of more like a studio space and a
Yeah.
lot of females will go in there to do their stuff by
Mhm.
themselves instead of being in the actual like gym part. And
Mhm.
to a lot of them, I know that that feels a lot more comforting to them to
Yeah.
know that a guy's probably not going to come in here in the middle of my Pilates set where my butt's facing the ceiling or in the middle of my
Yeah.
yoga. Like
And
it's just
yeah.
more comforting.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, like, because I know. I can't speak for the male species, but as a woman, um, there are some lifts that make you feel quite
Hmm.
exposed,
Yeah.
and that can also cause quite a bit of anxiety. But to me, and it's like, who knows? Who knows if people are looking or not? But
Mhm.
you just can't, like, you can't overanalyze it too much. If you have, like, if you are wearing a pump cover, like, perfect. If it doesn't quite cover the volume,
Mhm.
um, take it off and just like hang it like a towel behind you. You know, like there are some things that you can do to help with that. But again, it just lifting is quite exposing.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I'm sure you know that going into it, but um, that's another thing you just will get more comfortable with over time, and grow more confident in over time. But I know especially for females because a lot of times you're wearing spandex or you're wearing spandex and a sports bra. And that's nothing wrong with what you're wearing at all, but it does definitely give you a level of like, oh, I feel a little bit more exposed than I meant to feel today, you know? But yeah.
I mean, also that's like a point in time where like if you have a friend with you or you have
Mhm.
somebody in the gym that you know, like I've had Courtney come over by me while we've been lifting together and I've been like, "Hey, are my
Stand behind
leggings
me.
squat proof right now?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Or
I'd be like,
just can you
"Hey,
stand behind
yeah,
me?
can you be
Yeah.
behind me? Like make sure nobody can like see like just
Yeah.
having somebody else there that kind of like knows and understands. Like
Yeah.
it might not be the exact experience that like you are
Mhm.
feeling, but it's still like most females know that when they're gonna go squat in a gym, that
Yeah.
they should probably have clothing on where they're not like others aren't gonna be able to see your entire butt. Like
Yeah, make sure, yeah, test your leggings, test your spandex at home in good lighting to
yes.
make sure they're squat proof. That's another thing. Test your clothing because yeah, people will advertise squat proof, but it's not always true.
Mm.
So yeah,
Especially if you have a big butt.
especially if you have a big butt, yeah. And be careful with those scrunch leggings and scrunch spandex. Those things rip. I've never had it happen. I don't think I own
I've
any.
had it happen. Yep. Thankfully, it was at a lift that I was doing at my house, but it happens.
Oh wait, yeah, you told me about this. Yeah, it is very common that those rip. So as cute as they are and as flattering as they are,
Not functional.
not functional. So maybe wear those on an upper body day if you want to. Even so, be a little bit careful. But yeah. Do you have anything else? Any more
Not
points?
really. I think we've covered everything that I had.
I know that's kind of what I had too.
Yeah.
Um, shall we drop all the socials?
Sure.
Alrighty, sure. If you're not already in the Facebook group, go ahead and request to join in there. It's just called Girls Lifting Plates on Facebook. It's just I think there's what 70 of us in there now or something. So it's growing. If you're local to Minnesota, you don't have to be local to Minnesota to join the group. But if you are, we do host events every once in a while. It hasn't been as often just with summer being so
Yeah.
busy. But we do host events. They're really fun. You don't want to miss out on those. Then we have a Snapchat group chat as well. My Snapchat, you can just go follow me or add me on Snapchat. Um, I'm only accepting girls. I know I've said this every single time I say this, but I always get guys trying to sneak in there. And I only accept the girls. I warned y'all. Um, so it's KAYC dash FTNS. So it's KAYC dash FTNS. So it's KC-fitness. Go add me on there and you have to also swipe up and say, hey, I'm from the podcast. Put me in the groups or in the group. And I'll throw you in. Otherwise, I'm not just gonna throw everyone that gets added on my Snapchat into the group because they may have not come for that. Um, so yeah, and then my personal, so my Instagram is Kay dot Ann dot fitness. Same with TikTok, K dot Ann dot fitness. And then obviously go follow the Girls on the Move podcast Instagram. It is quite literally called Girls on the Move podcast. And same with the YouTube. Go subscribe. This episode will be up on YouTube. Taylor, take it away with yours.
Okay.
Of
Mine,
the
as
love.
usual, is just my Instagram, which Kay loves this part, is underscore underscore TAYY11 underscore underscore.
Yes. Go
Um,
follow Taylor.
and if you do that, you will see a lot of pictures of Kay and Sydney, because that's
Yeah.
pretty much, they're my only friends. Just kidding, I have a lot of friends,
You
but
have a
they're the
lot of friends.
well.
But we take the most selfies, I feel.
Mhm.
Um, Also, Taylor, tell
Mhm.
me to stuff my face if this is incorrect, but if you want to join the Snapchat group chat and you have Taylor on Snapchat and not me, is it fine if they go through you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
It might
so
take a while to answer, but I eventually will.
yeah, she'll get to you eventually. She's a hot commodity. She's got way too many snaps to get to.
Or I just don't answer my phone.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess is that all you have then?
Yeah.
All right, I think that's an episode. Thank you guys all for listening, and we hope you come back next week. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.